monetizing video streams on our owned and operated sites is always going to be the core of our business because we're able to monetize really effectively there. But we do leverage a variety of different distribution models in order to kind of push our content out. So whether that's through a partner network, so we work with the AOLs and the other kind of like video platforms to kind of push our content out to their audiences. But even more interestingly, how we're leveraging video for Facebook. So Facebook video, Facebook Live has been something that we've been experimenting with a lot. We think that's a really interesting way to kind of celebrate the video experience in a new and fresh way. Snapchat Discover, we're one of the lucky 16 Discover partners, and we push a lot of video content out through that format because that's really the type of content that people that are accessing those platforms really want to engage in. They're usually going to those platforms on a mobile device, and the idea and the expectation is that the content in video format really kind of tells the story and celebrates the brand. Our approach to live, and this is all very new, so we're learning as we go at this point. But to date, our approach to live has really been very opportunistic and really trying to kind of like zero in on those kind of moments that really matter to the pop culture audience. So we might do something like, for the finale of The Bachelor, we had our editorial director, Jess Cagle, basically doing Facebook Live videos during their commercial break. So really tapping into that huge moment around the finale of a huge franchise like The Bachelor, but putting a really fun kind of like accessible live video spin on it. What we really also love about Facebook Live is that it's kind of the next step in the connection between the audience and the content. I think YouTube, Vine, and other social video platforms have done a really good job of establishing that connection between its audience and the creators on those platforms. Live just takes it a little bit farther by saying, not only are we going to have that connection with you, but we're going to do it in real time. So it feels more urgent and more recent.
What are the considerations in terms of content for those social platforms?
Sure. So I mean, it's always got to be very snackable, shareable. There has to be a sense of excitement about the video because it is a very cluttered in a very heavily populated universe in terms of mobile video. More importantly, from a format perspective, everything is shot vertically now for a platform like Snapchat because, again, going back to the idea of a mobile device being the core place where people are actually consuming that content, you want the experience to feel rich and full and really taking up that entire screen. So it's been interesting to see how the editorial teams have evolved. They're thinking about how they actually shoot video so that we have options. We have the traditional landscape for our video player, our Brightcove player that's distributed on our site and across the networks. And then we have this kind of new vertical orientation, which just feels so much more appropriate and right for the Snapchat and the Facebook platforms.
Cool. And finally, we're here with a number of your colleagues. Is this an exciting time, a scary time for digital publishers? What are some of the things you're taking away or things that you're thinking about moving forward?
I mean, I think it's all those things. It's always exciting with a little bit of scariness to it, and I actually like that. It keeps things really interesting. It keeps you on your toes. Look, I think that as these distributed platforms like Facebook and Snapchat really start to represent larger segments of the audience, and how brands like People or Entertainment Weekly or any other kind of publishing brand are kind of touching base with that audience, we have to learn to figure out the value that we want to drive from those platforms, and then really celebrate the authentic experience on those platforms. I think a year ago or even 2 years ago, I would have said to you, oh my God, I'm obsessed with getting the click back to our People owned and operated site or entertainmentweekly.com. I don't necessarily know if that's the right play going forward. I think it's about creating the right bespoke experience for each of those platforms, and ultimately letting the user kind of come across the brand in an authentic, natural way and celebrate the brand that way.